Good morning, dear children. Today in civics, we will learn the basic features of the Indian Constitution. Let us begin. As you all know, India became independent from the British rule on 15th of August 1947, and India became a sovereign democratic republic with its constitution on 26th of January 1950. In our previous class also we have studied what is constitution. So what is a constitution? Constitution is a document with fundamental rules and regulations by which a country is governed. That means a country is governed by a constitution. And what is a constitution? A constitution is a document with fundamentals, rules and regulations. It mentions the powers and functions of the government and the rights and duties of the people. We will study in this chapter the rights and duties, the powers and functions, and the basic features of the Constitution in this chapter. A question arises is, why do we need Constitution? What is the need of a Constitution? The Constitution develops mutual trust and coordination among different sections of the society. You have seen in the society there are different sections, different castes, different religion following people are there. So it develops mutual trust and coordination. It Constitution describes different organs of the government and their powers specifically. It clarifies the powers of the decision makers. Constitution also expresses aspirations of the people in creating just society. It helps in determining the fundamental identity of the people. Every constitution is supposed to have a basic structure that cannot be altered. Our constitution was written based on laws framed by members of the Constituent Assembly. As Dr. Ambedkar observed, one likes to ask whether there can be anything new in the constitution framed at this hour in the history of the world. More than 100 years have rolled when the first written constitution was drafted. It has been followed by many other countries reducing their constitution to writing. The only new things, if there be any, in a constitution framed so late in the day are the variations made to remove the faults and to accommodate it to the needs of the country. The Constitution of India is remarkable for many outstanding features that make it unique and one of the best in the world. This chapter deals with those salient features of our Constitution. Salient features of our Constitution. First, we will study parliamentary system of government. The Indian Constitution provides for a parliamentary system of government, that is, the real executive powers rest with the Council of Ministers, and the President is only a nominal ruler. That means the real executive powers rest with the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. That means in the center, the real power is in the hand of the Prime Minister. At the present time, the Prime Minister is Narendra Modi. There is an elected head of the executive, that is the President, who acts on the advice of the Union Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. In the same way, at the state level, the head of the executive of the state is the governor, and the real power lies with the Council of Ministers headed by the Chief Minister. For UP, if we see, the real powers are in the hand of Adityanath Yogi. The constitution makers rejected the presidential form of government as in the United States and adopted the British model of parliamentary democracy. There is an elected head of the executive, the president, who acts on the advice of the Union Council of Ministers. The real powers of governance are in the hands of the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. The second one is the partly unitary and the partly federal. Federal system with unitary bias. The Indian Constitution described India as a union of states, which implies that Indian federation is not the result of any agreement among the units and the units cannot secede from it. The essential federal features include the following. There are two sets of government, that is, the union government and the state government. There is a distribution of legislative authority between the two sets of governments. The powers of the governance are divided between the three branches, that is, the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. The judiciary is dependent on the other two branches. The constitution of the country is supreme and federation derives its existence from it. In a federation, it is essential to maintain the division of powers between the different branches of government. The unitary feature of Indian system. The Constitution of India provides for single citizenship. An Indian, irrespective of the state he is born or is living, is a citizen of India. The Constitution provides for the creation of all India services, but they are common to the Union and the states. When the country is in a state of emergency or there is president's rules in any state, the Union government and their services are transferable. The president exercises control over the administration of a state through the governor. The distribution of powers also has a very strong bias towards the center. India also has a unified judiciary headed by the Supreme Court. Let us know something in Hindi about the chapter. संघ और राज्यों दोनों के लिए एक ही संविधान भारत में संघ और राज्य दोनों ही के लिए एक ही संविधान है। संविधान एकता और राष्ट्रवाद के आदर्शों के सम्मिलित को बढ़ावा देता है। एकल संविधान सिर्फ भारत की संसद को संविधान में बदलाव करने की शक्ति प्रदान करता है। यह संसद को नए राज्य के गठन या मौजूदा राज्य को समाप्त करने या उसकी सीमा में बदलाव करने की शक्ति प्रदान करता है। भारतीय संविधान ने विभिन्न देशों के प्रावधान उधार लिए हैं और देश की उपयुक्तता और जरूरतों के लिहाज से उसमें संशोधन किया है। भारत के संविधान का संरचनात्मक भाग भारत सरकार अधिनियम 1935 से लिया गया है। सरकार की संसदीय प्रणाली और कानून के नियम जैसे प्रावधान यूनाइटेड किंगडम से लिए गए हैं। कठोरता और लचीलापन। भारत का संविधान ना तो कठोर है और ना लचीला। कठोर संविधान का अर्थ है कि संशोधन के लिए विशेष प्रक्रियाओं की जरूरत होती है, जबकि लचीला संविधान वह होता है जिसमें संशोधन आसानी से किया जा सकता है। धर्मनिरपेक्ष देश। धर्मनिरपेक्ष देश शब्द का अर्थ है कि भारत में मौजूद सभी धर्मों को देश में समान संरक्षण और समर्थन मिलेगा। इसके अलावा सरकार सभी धर्मों के साथ एक जैसा व्यवहार करेगी और उन्हें एक समान अवसर उपलब्ध कराएगी। भारत में संघवाद। भारत के संविधान में संघ, केंद्र और राज्य सरकारों के बीच सत्ता के बंटवारे का प्रावधान है। यह संघवाद के अनेक विशेषताओं जैसे संविधान की कठोरता, लिखित संविधान, 2 सदनों वाली विधायिका, स्वतंत्र न्यायपालिका और संविधान के वर्चस्व को भी पूरा करता है। इसलिए भारत एकात्मक पूर्वाग्रह वाला एक संघीय राष्ट्र है। भारत में सरकार का संसदीय स्वरूप है। भारत में 2 सदनों, लोकसभा और राज्यसभा वाली विधायिका है। सरकार के संसदीय स्वरूप में विधायी और कार्यकारिणी अंगों की शक्तियों में कोई स्पष्ट अंतर नहीं है। भारत का संविधान देश के प्रत्येक व्यक्ति को एकल नागरिकता प्रदान करता है। भारत में कोई भी राज्य किसी अन्य राज्य के वासी होने के आधार पर भेदभाव नहीं रखता। इसके अलावा भारत में किसी भी व्यक्ति को देश के किसी भी हिस्से में जाने और कुछ स्थानों को छोड़कर भारत की सीमा के भीतर कहीं भी रहने का अधिकार है। भारत का संविधान एकीकृत और स्वतंत्र न्यायपालिका प्रणाली प्रदान करता है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट भारत का सर्वोच्च न्यायालय है। इसे भारत के सभी न्यायालयों पर अधिकार प्राप्त है। इसके बाद उच्च न्यायालय, जिला अदालत और निचली अदालत का स्थान है। किसी भी प्रकार के प्रभाव से न्यायपालिका की रक्षा के लिए संविधान में कुछ प्रावधान बनाए गए हैं, जैसे कि जजों के लिए कार्यकाल की सुरक्षा और सेवा की निर्धारित शर्तें आदि। भारत में 18 वर्ष से अधिक उम्र के प्रत्येक नागरिक को जाति, धर्म, वंश, लिंग, साक्षरता आदि के आधार पर भेदभाव किए बिना मतदान देने का अधिकार प्राप्त है। सार्वभौम व्यस्क मताधिकार सामाजिक असमानताओं को दूर करता है और सभी नागरिकों के लिए राजनीतिक समानता के सिद्धांत को बनाए रखता है। देश की संप्रभुता, सुरक्षा, एकता और अखंडता को बनाए रखने के लिए किसी भी असाधारण स्थिति से निपटने के लिए राष्ट्रपति को कुछ खास कदम उठाने का अधिकार है। आपातकाल लगा दिए जाने के बाद राज्य पूरी तरह से केंद्र सरकार के अधीन हो जाता है। जरूरत के अनुसार आपातकाल देश के कुछ हिस्सों या पूरे देश में लगाया जा सकता है। इस प्रकार भारत का संविधान सबसे निचले स्तर या जमीनी स्तर पर लोकतंत्र, मौलिक अधिकारों और सत्ता के विकेंद्रीकरणों के रूप में खड़ा है। इन शक्तियों और अधिकारों में कमजोर पड़ने की किसी भी संभावना को देखते हुए संविधान के संरक्षक के रूप में काम करने, संविधान का उल्लंघन करने वाले किसी भी कानून या कार्यकारी अधिनियम को रद्द करने और इस प्रकार संविधान को सर्वोच्चता लागू करने के लिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट की स्थापना की गई है। Next is the partly rigid and partly flexible. I told you in Hindi also that so that you may easily understand it and you may not have any confusion about this. So children, it is partly rigid and partly flexible. तो कठोर भी है और लचीलापन भी है इसमें. The three types of amendments that the Constitution provides to enforce this procedure are: first is simple majority. Certain provisions of the Constitution can be amended by a process of securing one more than half of the members of the Parliament present and voting. This applies to issues like establishment of new states, rearranging boundaries, etc. नए राज्य बनाने के लिए, नई सीमाएं बनाने के लिए या उन सीमाओं में संशोधन करने के लिए आदि. Partly rigid. The process of amendment involves the passing of the bill by 50% of the membership of the House and 2/3 of the members present and voting. Very rigid is if the amendment seeks to change the manner of election of the president or the extent of the executive powers of the union and the states, etc. The process involves the passing of the bill by 50% of the members of the House and the 2/3 of the members present and voting by both the houses and then ratified by 1/2 of the state legislatures. The founder of the Constitution realized that the Constitution should neither be so rigid that it cannot be adapted to the changing needs of the time, nor should it be so flexible that it becomes a plaything in the hands of majority party in power. So these were the three types of amendments which I told you the Constitution provides to enforce the procedure. Next is the fundamental rights and the fundamental duties. The Indian Constitution provides an elaborate list of fundamental rights to the citizens of India, which cannot be taken away or abridged by any law made by the states. Similarly, the Constitution also provides duties of the citizens known as the fundamental duties. The Constitution of India has embodied a number of fundamental rights in Part 3rd to access limitations on the powers of the executive as well as the legislature. These rights give the citizens freedom of speech, religion, movement, बोलने का अधिकार, धर्म का अधिकार, किसी भी धर्म को अपनाने का अधिकार, ये बोलने की स्वतंत्रता का अधिकार, movement, etc., and the right to equality against exploitation, among others. These are enforceable in the court of law and writs are issued for their enforcement. The fundamental duties inserted by the 42nd Amendment Act of 1976 form an integral part of the Constitution. Directive Principles of State Policy. The directive principle of state policies in Part 4 of the Constitution intends to make India a welfare state. The directive principles are not enforceable by the support for their violation. The Indian Constitution mentions certain directive principles of state policy which that government has to keep in mind while formulating new policies. The socialistic pattern of our society assures equal opportunity to all citizens through suitable means like ensuring adequate means of livelihood and just distribution of wealth. Next is the single citizenship. The Indian Constitution recognizes single citizenship. USA Constitution recognizes double citizenship. An Indian citizen hold citizenship of his country only and not the citizenship of any particular state like Assam, Kerala, or Punjab as in America. A federal system of government usually has the provisions for a dual citizenship, as in the case of the USA, where all Americans are citizens of the country as the states they reside. But in India, the constitution adheres to single citizenship. All the people, irrespective of the state they are residing in, are citizens of the country. The government has decided to grant dual citizenship to non-residents Indian, that is NRIs. भारत में हर एक राज्य के लिए रहने के लिए अलग अलग नागरिकता लेने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, जैसा कि अमेरिका में है, वहाँ पर ज़रूरत पड़ती है। भारत में व्यक्ति स्वतंत्र है, वे किसी भी राज्य का हो, कहीं पर भी भारत की नागरिकता को लेकर के रह सकता है। The dual citizenship is the usually in the federal country people enjoy dual citizenship. It means the citizenship of the state to which they belong as well as the citizenship of the country. Example is America. Here people takes dual citizenship, that is for the state to which they belong as well as the citizenship of the country. Next is the universal adult franchise. Right to vote is a basic requirement of democracy. It should be equally available to all. Right of the people to vote and elect their representatives is called a franchise. The word franchise is derived from the French word franc, which means free. Here the people are free to vote and elect their representatives. There is no type of foundation on them to vote or to give a vote to a particular person. They are free to vote and elect their representatives at their own wish. Constitution of India grants universal adult franchise to all its citizens. Adult franchise means that the right to vote should be given to all citizens who have attained the age of 18 years in India, without the discrimination of caste, class, color, religion or sex. धर्म, कास्ट, जाति, किस जाति से है, किस रंग का है, किस धर्म से है, या कोई भी व्यक्ति पुरुष है या महिला है, इसके आधार पर नहीं, भारत में हर किसी को समान अधिकार है वोट डालने का 18 साल की उम्र में। These are the terms related with the chapter you should learn. The amendment is an addition, deletion or improvement of some document. Next one is the federation. It is an act of constituting a political unity out of a number of separate states or provinces so that each member state retains the power to manage its internal affairs. Flexible constitution. It is the constitution that can be very easily changed or modified. A rigid constitution. It is the constitution which is difficult to amend. Universal adult franchise. All citizens of India who are of 18 years of age are given the right to vote. And the welfare state is the state which looks after the social and economic well-being of its people, like education, health facilities, job opportunities, equal pay for equal work is called welfare state. Children, here we bind up with the chapter, and thank you for listening the video. You are requested to read the chapter nicely at least twice You have to read the chapter, and all the best for your unit test. Thank you.